At this point, after 10 years of working on the topic of retroactive jealousy, every time I think that I've covered it all, I've made a video about every single question, every single topic, or every single tip, I always can think of more, thankfully. In today's video, I'm going to share a little retroactive jealousy tip, which you've never heard me talk about before, but which is actually really important in the context of overcoming retroactive jealousy. My name is Zachary Stockill, and since 2013, I've been helping men and women from all over the world overcome retroactive jealousy and save their relationships. If you'd like more information about my work or you'd like to work with me one-on-one, please visit my website at retroactivejealousy.com. Okay, so a retroactive jealousy tip, which I haven't talked about on this channel before. One thing I have talked about on this channel before is the importance of paying attention to your body in the context of struggling with retroactive jealousy, paying attention to the way your body reacts when you encounter a retroactive jealousy trigger, and taking deliberate steps to relax your body, to breathe deeply, to do things like that when you're struggling with retroactive jealousy. Don't neglect the physical component of this issue, because the physical component of this issue is relatively easy to address, or at least it's easier to address than a lot of the psychological stuff. Don't neglect the physical component of retroactive jealousy. By the way, for the people here for the first time, the term retroactive jealousy refers to unwanted intrusive thoughts, often obsessive curiosity, and what I call mental movies about your partner's past relationships and or sexual history. So all of this is to say that when you're struggling with retroactive jealousy, when you encounter a retroactive jealousy trigger, when you're racked with jealous thoughts, when you're racked with painful, unwanted, intrusive thoughts, your body is doing stuff. It might take you some time and some specific attention to realize what your body is doing, but I guarantee you're having some kind of a physical reaction when you're in an animated state as a result of retroactive jealousy. Now, this can involve things like breathing very shallow. A lot of people do this. I certainly did this back when I was struggling with retroactive jealousy, although it took me a while to realize it. When I was struggling with unwanted intrusive thoughts about my then girlfriend's past, all of a sudden I'd be breathing very shallow. Be kind of like this, even just a little bit. I wasn't filling my entire lungs up with air. I wasn't breathing slowly, calmly, deliberately, deeply. And as a result, or at least as a partial result, my anxiety was heightened. I was feeling more anxious, I was feeling more tense, I was feeling more on edge as a result of the simple fact that my body wasn't getting enough oxygen. Another example, which I've mentioned before, is I'd realized that my shoulders were starting to get a bit tight when I'd encounter a retroactive jealousy trigger, when I was pestering my then girlfriend with questions about her past, when I couldn't sleep at night and I was having all these mental movies or whatever. I'd realized that my shoulders were getting a little tense, and I almost had this tension, almost like a very, very mild headache. And I want to emphasize again, it took me a while to realize that my body was reacting in certain ways over and over again every time I was struggling with retroactive jealousy, every time I'd have a retroactive jealousy attack. This was something that took me a little while to realize. But once I realized it, and once I started breaking that pattern, things started to get a lot easier. It was a really big help for me on the road to recovery. So all that said, the thing that I wanted to talk about today, which I've never addressed before, is the potential link between your physical posture and retroactive jealousy. So first off, I want to be clear. I do not have great posture. I don't consider myself to have great posture. It's something that I've really had to work on over the years, especially because, I spent 7 years studying in university. I have a job that requires me to sit at a desk for long periods of the day. I've been living like that for 20 years or something like that. So it's very easy for me to fall into patterns where I have bad posture, where I've kind of got computer neck and I'm kind of hunched over like that a little bit without even realizing it. I've had to work on my posture specifically, and I'll get into some tips as far as that goes toward the end of this video. But before I do that, I just wanted to mention that you might be surprised when you're struggling with retroactive jealousy on the link between what your body's doing and your experience of intrusive thoughts and mental movies and all the rest. So aside from the breathing issues or the physical tension that I mentioned earlier, you might just be doing things like slumping a bit with kind of rolled in shoulders. You might be adopting kind of a defeated, kind of submissive physical posture without even realizing it. And they've done a lot of research on this over the years, and it's become very clear that the way we hold ourselves, our actual physical presence, our physical posture, has a tremendous impact on our mental health. If you're facing any challenge in life with a straight back and keeping your shoulders back, you're going to feel better, you're going to feel more confident about facing that challenge than you would be if you're kind of sitting like this and slunched and crouching and kind of hunched over. And the same is true of struggling with retroactive jealousy. Retroactive jealousy is definitely challenging, and you want to give yourself the best possible chance to overcome that challenge in every single way you can, even if it seems silly, even if it seems insignificant. So try this over the next several weeks. Just make a little bit more of an effort to maintain good posture, because you might be surprised that this will give you an added dose of dopamine, of confidence. You might find that the intrusive thoughts, the mental movies, the curiosity just starts getting even just like 5% better because you're holding yourself up better in the world. You're more of a presence when you enter rooms, and your physical posture is not sending a defeatist signal to your brain. In other words, I don't think you're going to face any challenge in life successfully if you're kind of hunched over and you've got these bold-in shoulders. You want to face the challenges of life voluntarily with a straight back and holding your shoulders back. So in terms of improving your posture, again, I'm not an expert, but several things have really helped. So number one, just being conscious of it. When I'm sitting at the computer for long stretches, I need to remember, oh yeah, I probably don't have great posture in this moment. Continually reorienting yourself, holding yourself up, adjusting your computer monitor so you're not looking down like this. It's more slightly below eye level. Little things like that. Scheduling regular breaks to get up and take a walk and get away from the computer, even if it's just for 5 minutes, is also very helpful. But beyond all that, I think the best thing I did for my posture was adopt a strength training regime. So I lift weights about 3 times a week. I've been doing it for years. As you can see, I'm not jacked or anything like that, but I am stronger physically, which helps. And also, I think when you're forced to do squats a couple times a week, when you're forced to hold yourself a certain way on the bench, when you have to lift a certain way and hold your body a certain way to prevent injury, when you're strength training, I think this can't help but translate into better posture in your everyday life more generally. So I'd strongly encourage people to look into strength training. It's been great for my posture. And beyond that, over the next several weeks or however long, pay more attention to your posture. It might seem like this is in no way related to retroactive jealousy, but just in general, again, you want to give yourself the best possible chance to overcome this beast, no matter how you can. And things like posture can have a serious impact on your ability or not to overcome a challenge like retroactive jealousy. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching. If you got anything out of this video today, please take a moment to let me know by clicking the like button below. I'll also ask you to leave a comment telling me what you think, tell me about your posture or whatever. And also be sure that you are subscribed to my channel to be notified of new videos moving forward. Thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.